A man called Johnny is walking his dog Nemo around the neighborhood. It's getting late, later than their usual evening walk, as there had been heavy rain during the day. Johnny breathes in the crisp and clean air that an evening rain leaves after itself. He figures that Nemo is feeling the same tranquility filling the body, as Nemo is less eager than normal to dig around in the leaves. Suddenly, Nemo stops and investigates something laying in a small puddle that the rain has created on the sidewalk. "What's that?" Johnny asks and walks over to Nemo. An earthworm had caught Nemo's attention as it is struggling to get out of the puddle. Johnny figures that unless the earthworm finds its way back to safety of the grass, it will either drown or a bird will take it as a snack. Carefully, Johnny lifts the earthworm with 2 fingers and places it gently back on the grass. Nemo is ready to continue the walk, but Johnny lets the leash extend, watching as the earthworm maneuvers its way to safety. After a while, Johnny resumes walking to catch up with Nemo and brushes the mud off his fingers, leaving a spot of dirt on his trousers. Adam Smith, a Scottish philosopher known as the father of economics, is famous for explaining how self-interest could be beneficial to others on the marketplace. Perhaps would Adam Smith be surprised that his writing on self-interest would be his most popular one, as he devoted most of his time trying to figure out why people do things in the interest of others. Why do we sometimes help a fellow human being without expecting the favor to be returned? Why would Johnny devote his time and energy to save an earthworm without nothing to gain but some dirt on his trousers? The question of genuine altruism, that is having unselfish concern for the welfare of others, have been a long-standing debate among philosophers. Some argue that humans are indeed capable of acting altruistically. History provides numerous instances of individuals taking actions that directly harm themselves to benefit others. What could the self-interest possibly gain from donating money anonymously to charity or throwing yourself on a grenade to save others? Others claim that every action contains an element of self-interest. Even if the action largely benefits others, the doer might still gain in terms of reputation and the satisfaction of a warm glow from their benevolence. Adam Smith would probably say that the answer is somewhere in between. He recognizes that we are self-interested individuals. Our concern is mostly around ourselves. However, Adam Smith also claims that we have a spark of altruistic behavior inside us as we want to do good deeds for others. He writes in the Theory of Moral Sentiments, "How selfish soever man may be supposed, there are evidently some principles in his nature which interest him in the fortune of others, and render their happiness necessary to him, though he derives nothing from it except the pleasure of seeing it." Why do we get such pleasure from doing good for others? Adam Smith continues with an important insight into a human's conscience. Man naturally desires not only to be loved, but to be lovely. We find gratification in aiding others because we aspire to not only to be liked, but to show qualities worthy of admiration. Smith sees that the ordinary men and women care deeply about how they are perceived by others, but also about how they perceive themselves. Sometimes we do good when someone is watching, seeking praise and approval. But we also want to be known as good people who do the right thing even when nobody is watching. Smith uses the analogy of an impartial spectator. Every time we choose an action, we confront a dilemma. Picture a disinterested person that has no stake in the outcome of the dilemma, but judges us upon our actions. This impartial spectator is our own conscience. It is not of self-interest that Johnny rescues the earthworm and puts it back into the grass. Nor is it the desire of praise and to be loved. Instead, Johnny acts as he did because he wants to be lovely. He wants to be the kind of person that does the right thing, even though no one is watching. We have a natural longing of inner goodness. This delicate interplay of self-interest and altruism, as Smith suggests, shapes the tapestry of our conscience. Amid all the troubles that exist in our world, we rarely stop to think about the fact that we live in a fairly decent world. People are, in general, kind to each other, even among strangers. Sometimes we even shine with moments of good-heartedness and benevolence. Smith gives us the insight that it's us and our conscience that we have to thank for that. We come to realize that the decency of our society is built bottom up and not top down. While there are laws against the worst crimes, such as murders and theft, it's our own sense of what's right and our effort to be good that is the cornerstone of the day-to-day experience of every citizen. The small things we do can easily seem pointless in the big picture. But remember that every individual action is a small part of the sum that is our society. Feel good when you do something kind and know that your action is part of something bigger than just that one thing. This applies even to simple things, like saving an earthworm.